My never say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there. Osia dem yopo.
Memo bibiara kwaba eba PENDREAM TV. So we new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, bell notification no. Na share ma afofro ensa enkabi comment section or now the quadrant aba. Kwesi Pratt Jr. Atobi amane Ken Ofori-Atta. Efa ne arrest any offense on detention by ICE. Ya omokofa no some few days back. Na Kwesi Pratt Jr. say kwanya Ken Ofori-Atta afaso a handle the case no wa worsen the situation. Na say ye de ne ebepie mu ewo Ghana ade a ebe den say court ebetimi amane bail any offense no ono akasa nso no ne lawyers ebetimi a pre bail for Ken Ofori-Atta. Na Kwesi Pratt Jr. say he feels sorry for Ken Ofori-Atta. Kwanya wafaso a handle the case no. Na ensem we ne ensem ahodo bi na ode tuja abra na or reacted to ICE on detention na omafa Ken Ofori-Atta. Ye hwe ni mu se obekwa kopie mu court on the 20th of this month. Yeah, Dominic Anyine had told us a few days back. It say Ken Ofori-Atta will be deported to Ghana after 20th of this month. Say court ever decided on what and I said on how they are going to handle the issue. Now, in some way, Esema Holobina Kwesi Pratt Jr. Edituja Abra or reacted to the arrest and detention of Ken Ofori-Atta by ICE in the United States of America.
How is it? Ken Ofori-Atta, and matters arising.
You see, Moro.
Yes, sir.
I hope you guys remember that I delivered the Atamils Memorial Lecture. 2024.
Yeah.
And in that lecture, I pointed out that the National Democratic Congress was not managing expectations well with regards to the fight against corruption.
I recall.
And I pointed to the difficulties in prosecuting under this dispensation.
You said it yourself again.
Yes. And I told them that it was possible that by the end of their tenure, they may not have achieved any significant prosecutions, even as they put in their best and so on. So I told them to manage expectations. I recall that after that lecture, many people in the NDC thought, argued that I was speaking for these MPP elements whom they claimed had stolen our money and so on. But that's not the point I was making. The practical reality. You cannot come into office and within 1 year throw tens of ministers and former appointees into jail. It's not possible. If you are respecting their rights, if they are allowed to defend themselves using the law and so on, you cannot. There's a process.
Yeah.
And I've always referred to other trials before. And one of the most significant ones was the trial of Dr. Oku.
Yeah.
After 8 years, MPP could not secure conviction. Of course, I also believe that he was an innocent man. Okay. But after 8 years, they couldn't secure a conviction. So it is not that easy. Now, I worry, and I really worry a lot, when I hear people like my brother and friend, Honorable Collins, make the point that, they haven't achieved much in the fight against corruption. Expect them to achieve much? How? If the due process is going to be followed, it will be slow. And people in the MPP should not be accusing the Mahama administration of being slow. Because if it's not going to be slow, what is it going to do? It's going to bend the law. It's going to violate people's rights and so on in order to achieve a certain level of speed. So the last people to complain that the Mahama administration has been weak or slow in achieving the objectives that oral sets should be the MPP elements. You understand? Because otherwise, speed will be applied. And when speed is applied, what it means is that some of the processes may have to be truncated and so on. So it is not in their best interest to be accusing the Mahama administration of being slow or not realizing the promise it made with oral and so on. It is not in the best interest of the NPP and its leaders to be making those claims. The foot soldiers in the NDC and neutrals and so on can be making those claims, not people from the NPP. Don't, because it will spell hell for you. Okay. Now, to narrow it to the Ken Ofori-Atta case specifically, I recall a time when Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta appeared visibly to be sick. Physically, he had bloated, he had become particularly slow, and there was a lot of concern about his health.
Yeah.
And I recall people suggesting that he remove himself from the Ministry of Finance because it was stressful. And I hope all of you recall his response.
Yep.
His response was that Ghana's interest was too dear to him that he was even willing to risk his health in order to serve the country. Why has the story changed now? Now he's not willing to risk his health in order to serve the interests of Ghana that he loves so much. What has changed? What is it that has significantly changed? Okay. Besides, from all that we know, unless there's something else that the public has not been told, what he has is prostrate. I don't know the stage at which his prostrate is. But Massa, everywhere you go in the world, not just in Ghana, many people have this prostrate problems. And they work, they stand trial, they live in prison, they live outside prison, and so on. Prostrate is no longer sufficient grounds for refusing to be accountable. Why? I'm quite sure that some of the judges have prostrate. You understand? I mean, some of the judges you'll be facing, they have prostrate. They have prostrate problems. But they are sitting there in court and judging. Okay. The science is that men, after 40 years, are most likely
predisposed
to have prostate cancer or issues related to prostate cancer. It's a normal thing. Just like fibroid is so normal to women and so on. So that is not sufficient excuse for what he appears to be doing. You understand? Now, for all practical purposes, I think that he has worsened his case. You see, today, there are so many leaders of the last government who have been accused of wrongdoing, who have been granted bail, they sleep in their houses, and they go about their normal duties pending further investigations and prosecution. He may not have that privilege if he comes back. And you know why? Because now it's clearly established that it's a flight risk. And judges will find it very difficult, judges and investigators will find it very difficult to grant him bail, as other colleagues of his have been granted bail. So he has worsened his case, and I feel sorry for him, you know, that it has gotten to this level. You know, I really feel sorry for him. Why can't he come and, you know, defend himself against the allegations which are being made against him? I don't think that he, today, can say that the courts in Ghana are kangaroo courts. If he were to make that claim, what would they say? What would that say about the administration to which he was finance minister? How much has changed in the judiciary since John Mahama took over? How much has changed? Majority of high court judges, majority of appeal court judges and so on were appointed by his own administration as we speak now. The judicial system has not changed. So what claims can he make? So I think that it's in his best interest to come, face the charges, and deal with them. I would not for one moment suggest that he is guilty as charged. or he's guilty as alleged. It may well be possible that he's an innocent man. And indeed, for all those who are appearing before investigative bodies, including Euroko and so on, the presumption should be their innocence. They are innocent until convicted by a competent court. And that is how all of us should treat them. That is how we should treat all citizens of Ghana, not MPP members, not members of the Akufo-Addo administration. The NDC is not going to be in power forever. At some point, maybe 50 years' time, maybe 40 years' time, maybe 10 years' time, maybe 12 years' time, the NDC would not be in power. We expect the same standard to be applied to NDC leaders as is applied to MPP leaders, as it applies to CPP leaders. We should be principled in these matters. You understand? And if we are principled in these matters, we will not be counting how much has been recovered from prosecution of those accused of corruption. We'll be counting how much justice has been done to citizens and to the country.
True.
It's not money. Question of justice cannot be counted in monetary terms. You know, and I want to believe, I firmly believe in being fair and just to every citizen of our country. That should be our pursuit.
I see.
We should not be counting money. Yeah, so you catch somebody, put them before kangaroo courts, as happened some time ago, and extract monies for them. Is that an achievement?
Yeah.
It's certainly not an achievement, you know. So I insist on the true application of all the principles of the rule of law.
Okay.
I insist on justice for every citizen. You know, I insist on fair treatment for every citizen,
right,
whether they are NPP, NDC, or CPP.
Okay.
That's what I insist on.
All right. Collins, if you listen to the Dominic Ayine interview, he mentions that he's been engaging the lawyers of Ken Ofori-Atta in America, for some of whom are former attorney generals of America. The first is a very popular name that has escaped me. I mean, these are top American lawyers. And they, in his engagement with them, they were requiring of him to assure them that if Ken comes to Ghana, he'll be given a fair trial and that he won't be molested and harassed and manhandled and so on. I mean, I don't know what kind of image that creates about Ghana. I mean, when you hear stuff like that.
Well, first of all, I'll come back to that.
Okay.
I recall the lecture that Kwesi talked about.
Okay.
Now, Kwesi, the NDC did not listen to your lecture. They didn't. They continued on the image destruction of some innocent Ghanaians. We had members who are now cabinet members moving into houses with cameras and accusing some people as thieves. In fact, there was a whole program at the Jubilee House where Oral presented a whole gamut of documents, and they told us that the members of the Nana Addo Akufo-Addo government have stolen money to the tune of $21 billion. That's what we were told. So if today, the same members of that group come back on television and tell us that apparently the 21 billion that we talked about, that helped us to win election, we cannot retrieve all. We have every right to call them out.
But when you say members of that group, no, hold on. When you say members of that group, you may not be factually accurate.
I'm coming.
Do you know why?
I'm coming.
Because the oral was not a party group.
Take your time.
Yes.
Look at the members over there. Look at them.
So
look at the members. Please look at the members.
Yes, I've seen them.
Apart from look at them.
Domelevo.
Apart from them,
yes,
which of them don't have a position in this government? What are you talking about?
The foreign minister is not involved in prosecutions.
Thank you. Thank you.
He's not involved
But
in
the foreign minister knew that he was not involved in prosecution. But he was telling the president that 21 billion has been stolen and called people looters and thieves.
Not in his capacity as a prosecutor or investigator.
But he knows very well.
In his capacity as an ordinary citizen,
but he knows.
Was compiling allegations.
Allegations. So when he met the president, he should have told the president that these are allegations. He told the president, and it was live on the papers, that these are looters. They call them thieves. The foreign minister, my very good friend Okujeto, he knows that he's not a prosecutor. But he was accusing people and moving to people's properties with video cameras and calling them thieves. So if today, the same group of people, the Attorney General comes back to tell us, if one of the ORA members, the Attorney General was on news file yesterday.
But he's not a member of ORA.
Take your time.
Yes.
The document has been handed over to him.
Prosecutor.
No, but Okujeto is not a prosecutor. But the same Okujeto.
He is not the Attorney General.
But Okujeto, he knew that he was not a prosecutor.
So it's not the same people.
No, it's the same people. I'm coming, Kwesi.
Okujeto, Kwesi, and Dominica
Kwesi.
are different people.
Please. Let me make my point. Okujeto knowing very well that he's not a prosecutor.
Okay.
But he was categorical in his statement. And called people looters, called people thieves. And told the president that he's been able to receive documents that to the tune of $21 billion. So now, if the one who's prosecuting now tells us that those documents cannot pass, some of them cannot pass for prosecution, I have every right to call them out.
Right.
And when I do so, I'm not telling His Excellency to manipulate the law. In fact, His Excellency has no option. He has no option but to follow due process. He has no option. He's the first gentleman of the land. He has absolutely no option to either slow the process or quicken the process to favor somebody else. No, he has no option. He has only one option: to ensure that the dignity of those people accused are maintained. That is the only option he has. So I'm going to say, I'm well within my space to call them out. In fact, on this same table, I was with you, Kwesi. You even advised. You advised when the papers were calling them looters. And it was so unfair. Now, documents have come. Domlevo himself is telling us that most of the things were not audited. This was just things they received. How do you just receive documents you've not audited and have not gone through and call those people thieves and looters? Is this fair? Then you use that to win election. After you've won election, you come back to the same people and tell us that, oh, on the basis of how we scrutinize the document, some of them we cannot go for prosecution. You have tarnished their image. You have already killed them. That is the point I'm making. And you talk about fairness. That is why I made that point. My point is that this was a promise. 21 billion all over the place. These guys are thieves. They are bullies. And I remember that day when we were having this argument. All the complaints they received were complaints that were received from 2016 to 2024.
What do you have against that?
I was very clear that day that this is a clear political agenda. The idea is not to fight corruption as it's supposed to be, but to paint a certain group of people black.
No, but 2016 is part of another administration.
No, I'm talking about but I'm talking about Nana Akufo-Addo's government. When Akufo-Addo took over,
Yes.
2017, all the reports,
No.
all the report they received.
Yes.
We were here.
It's
They
starting from
received.
2017.
Yes. Nobody came to give them any reports from His Excellency. Yes. Everything was from 2017. So it was a calculated attempt. And the wording, and you can go back and play when they were presenting these documents. The wording, the diction,
But
the words they
but they
used.
also said, and I heard about Blackwell Clare, but Blackwell also said that if there's anybody who knows or is aware of any wrongdoing, even in the past administrations, preceding 2017, the person is free to bring those documents. Please sign it down again.
Bro, we all saw what happened when they presented these documents.
Yes.
The narrative that was.
It means nobody's brought anything.
No. The narrative,
in that
the
previous
narrative that was sent around,
Yes.
and the fact that they failed to listen to Uncle Kwesi's advice.
Oh, my brother.
They failed. They failed to listen to his advice when Uncle Kwesi was warning them that what you are doing, be careful, because everybody, as he puts it, has the right to be heard.
Okay.
But you cannot take one side, kill the person, turn back now to tell us that, oh, After you've killed the person and used it for your political gains, oh, document where I will not prosecute you. And that the 21 billion, all of it cannot be retrieved. Hey, now you're telling me you cannot retrieve 21 billion.
No, but realistically.
I think we have to be
fantastic. So you see, you are talking about realistic.
Realistically.
I'm going to talk about realistic.
Yes.
These people that led ORA, these are distinguished individuals. They know about reality.
Yeah, but
they are aware of the reality.
Let's be fair.
But the eyes.
Let's be fair. The people who led ORA made it plain that they were collecting complaints.
Yes. And allegations.
Which needed to be verified through proper investigation.
Yes.
The president made it clear that he was not acting as president at the time. You understand? He made it clear that all that he was doing was asking people who have some suspicion and so on to bring them forward so that when he assumed office, those may be investigated. So that was clear, and I think we have to be fair.
But Kwesi, the point
he then makes
is if you are just collecting allegations and claims and suspicions, how then do you go to a conclusion? How do you then describe
that group of people as thieves?
That's where it's coming from.
How do you then conclude that
somebody has looted, somebody has stolen,
they are looters? When all you are doing is just receiving complaints.
You see, my friends. Collins knows.
Right.
He may not admit on camera, but he knows that in the past administration, some shenanigans took place.
Fact.
He knows that as a fact.
Fact.
Okay? But I'm saying that all of us must uphold the principles of
fairness and rule of law.
So we must uphold that. And if we're going to uphold that, we cannot be convicting people on platforms such as this.
Fantastic.
But all of us know that some things went very, very, very wrong. We know. You know that. You know that
you've made my day. I do. You've made my day.
But you know that better than I do.
You've made my day.
Yeah.
By saying that because there's a process that will lead to somebody being called a thief or a looter. When you start the process, you have to be careful with your diction and give those people a fair hearing. That's the point.
That's fine.
Now
but we cannot be arguing as if nothing went wrong. Everything was okay.
No.
Because
now to
we know that some things went very, very wrong.
To Ken Ofori-Atta. Obviously, the last time I pleaded a fifth.
Okay. Not to comment on it. That's fine.
I'll continue to plead.
I hear you. In fact, it's well within your rights.
But that itself is very significant.
It was the same thing Kwesi said the last time. It says it's profound. It's called a definite silence.
I'm saying that I plead the fifth.
No problem. So Kofi Addo.
And I'll continue to plead.
Very loud silence.
Very loud silence. Okay. What's the issue? Professor Mimobati, I'm told you are tired of him. You want him out. He's talking too much. In fact, the Daily Post, is it the Daily Post or one of the, sorry?
Tired of him.
Professor Frimpong Boateng.
But he hasn't said.
No, I'm talking about some colleagues of his. And we're told the MPP to sack traitors. And it starts from Frimpong Boateng. That story is here. We're told that Paul Awuni said a new patriotic party has resolved to get rid of individuals who have been contrived traitors and hired backstabbers, working in the interest of the party's being a political opponent. One of their considered betrayers who will soon be shown the exit to serve as a deterrent, according to an information gathered, is former Minister of State Professor Kwabena Frimpong Boateng. Accordingly, the party has begun formal processes to expel the ex-Minister of Environment, Science and Technology and Innovation, following his unsavory and anti-party comments during an interview on Channel 1 TV on January 12, 2026. Collins, what's happening? Your elections is just around the corner, I think in 2 weeks.
You know something?
And
the party,
all these comments, right?
The party is in a very...
Custodian, you want it? Inside, so please go ahead.
The party is in a very slippery area.
Okay. Okay.
And my only admonition is that people like Frimpong Boateng and co, great level of respect that we have for them. I just plead with them that it is not cool when a party you belong to, benefited from, is going through some hardship or some problem, and there's a time you are stepping on the party. I think with his experience and knowledge, I don't know if I can advise him, because I'm not too sure I am at the level of advising Professor Frimpong Boateng, but I can only admonish him that I want him to be part of the rebuilding process, and not to stay on the fence and, as it were, be throwing stones into an already weakened party that is trying very hard to reshape its future. And I'm sure he's part of that. He should tone down on some of the rhetoric, and rather come in, join hands to ensure that things are managed to an appreciable level where the party now becomes more attractive to the Ghanaian people. I mean, I listened to his interview. Tomorrow, things like the party is fake. Oh, really? The party is fake. I'm not a member.
He says the party has changed. This is not the party he joined many decades ago.
I don't understand. When he became a minister, what party was it?
Okay.
Was it the old party, or that was Nanado's party?
That's a valid question.
I'm trying to understand.
Yeah.
When he accepted to be a minister, a cabinet minister, under Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, was the party the old one or the new party? I just want to understand. Because nothing really, the leadership has not changed really when he was a minister. So I'm pleading with him. His expertise is needed. Himself and others, they should come in and let's try and jaw and see the way forward. But I'm no longer a member of that fake party. If the current party is fake and you're no more a member, what are you trying to say?
Right.
You get the point I'm making. But I'm sure that with his experience and his knowledge, call one or two people behind the scenes. Let's see how best we can resolve this issue. Okay. And interesting enough, I see a lot of old folks always come up to speak when they're getting close to an election. They suddenly resurface when there's an election, and they, I don't know whether he has a particular candidate, because he was very clear that Bawumia is a no-no. He's he doesn't support Bawumia. And that any other candidate, he never mentions anybody. Apart from Bawumia, any other candidate who comes is fine for him. So he's very clear about his dislike for Bawumia. This was the man you were in cabinet with.
Yeah.
You are sitting in cabinet with. And it's sometimes, I don't know. But for me, my appeal is that I'm begging himself and very knowledgeable, strong old folks within the party. I think they should come in and help revamp the party rather than being outside and be throwing things into an already weakened party after this election, which is trying its best. And this is not the first time a political party is going through this. I mean, people think the NDC just became the NDC we see now. It was tough when they lost 2016. Whoever thought Mr. His Excellency will come back? Whoever thought? This was a party where even founders' wives were at a party, but they've managed to come together. Why? Because they had their old folks, no matter how disgruntled they were, stay in and help rebuild the party. But to continuously, always throwing mud into an already difficult, muddy area, right. It becomes a challenge. I don't know, as I said, I can't advise him. He's way above my pedigree. But my only caution is that he should come and let's solve the problem. No matter what is happening within the party. As the council says, no matter what is happening, he should come, let's sit down, let's resolve the party. Frimpong Boateng only started talking ill when he was changed as a minister. Yeah. Suddenly, everything has changed. Okay. Why? So I'm begging him. He should come. let's do the party.
Okay, see, I don't know how difficult it's going to be for the party, because we've heard Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo, who has also suggested that if you sack Frimpong Boateng, then you must prepare to sack all of us from the party. That's serious.
I think my brother and friend Collins has skirted over the issue. The real problem is this. In this contest, you can insult Kwabena Agyapong, you can tear him to pieces, the party would not take any action. You can call Kennedy Agyapong names, abuse him, the party will take no action. The only person on whose behalf the party takes action when he's attacked is Dr. Bawumia. That's a problem. That's a big problem. That's a big problem. That's the problem the party must be addressing, not sacking Frimpong Boateng. You understand? All the things that Professor Frimpong Boateng said about Dr. Bawumia, worse things have been said about Kennedy Agyapong. Nobody took any action. I lie? If I lie, tell me.
Yeah, but Uncle, the action being taken against him is not about what he said about Bawumia. It is his description of the political party.
And also
Fake.
Collins. No, and also that's true. But and also the processes in the lead up to the election of Dr. Bawumia. You know, remember he said.
I get you, but he was not attacking Bawumia. I mean, the disciplinary action being initiated is not because he attacked Bawumia.
Yes,
but
it was because he said that it was rigged in his
yes,
favor.
but that is a different process.
Call it whatever you will. Call it whatever you will. Describe it however you will. Bottom line is that if you go after Bawumia, the party will come after you. But you can say anything and everything about the other contestants, the party doesn't move. That's the situation. And in fact, this is the very problem that Professor Frimpong Boateng was addressing when he spoke about how people were railroaded into choosing Bawumia as the flag bearer. This is the very problem he was addressing. And this is why, in his view, he thought that the party has departed from its ethos, that the party is no longer democratic. This is the basis. Whatever you say, this is the basis of the complaint he's making.
That's where I disagree with him.
All right. Okay. All right. We'll end it here.
See, I find it very offensive. I get you. But if Mr. Prof says that we all push to support Bawumia, I mean, how can you say that to me?
Okay.
That I don't have a mind of my own.
The evidence is that you can insult Kennedy Agyapong, nothing will happen.
That I agree with one person.
If you insult Bawumia, something will happen.
I am in complete agreement with you. No, but you see, but for him to say that the last election we were all coerced, we were pushed to support one candidate. That is unfair.
The practice of the party.
Because I was not pushed.
The practice of the party machine.
What is this obsession with Ken Ofori-Atta? Does this government need his fiscal presence to have him prosecuted? Paradoxically, Sir Dinam Tamakwatienu, who was investigated, prosecuted, and convicted, has not been extradited to Ghana. I'm told the process has started. In fact, Larry Dewey reported last week. We pray for long life and good health. Happy New Year to Uncle Kwesi and Collins, my brother, Manche Bruce II in Takrady. Anyway, so this is where. Okay, so finally, Loratu sends this message, not the MPP Loratu, it's a different Loratu. Good morning, Moro. The problem with the MPP is that they don't listen to anyone. They are always right in everything they do. Now, the current executives do not respect the party elders, yet when the elders come out to vent, it is a problem. The truth is, if you are genuine in the MPP, they don't like it. Other presidential candidates can be called names, and the executives will praise them for but heaven will break loose when DMV is insulted. If this isn't fake, what else? Thanks for joining us, sir. Thank you very much, Mr. Kwesi Pratt Jr. But Dr. Amwaku Siama, the second deputy speaker, he says he's enjoying the conversation, and then I should say hello to you, Deputy Speaker of Parliament. Yes, anyway, thanks for watching.
I'm not PENDREAM TV. Now, so far, so good. Say, open online portal, Ghana. Nipa share, Nipa follow, Nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.